Ariana Biermann sat cross-legged on her bedroom floor, her phone buzzing with another bank alert. She ignored it. Again. It was the fourth notification this week. Another withdrawal, another overdraft warning, another moment where she felt like the roles had reversed completely. Once, she was the teenager her mother spoiled with glam, fashion, and extravagant birthday parties. Now she was the one paying overdue utility bills, car notes, even food deliveries, not for herself, but for the very people who had raised her. Tears stung her eyes as she scrolled through her bank app. The electric bill had just cleared. Her balance was dangerously low, and rent was due in 5 days. How did we get here? She whispered to no one. It wasn't about the money, not really. Ariana had always been fiercely loyal to her family. But this? Watching her parents, Kim Zolciak, once the glamorous Real Housewives star, and Kroy Biermann, former NFL player, spiral into financial distress, filing for divorce and reconciliation within the same breath, and leaning on their 22-year-old daughter for support. It was heartbreaking. Behind closed doors, things had fallen apart rapidly. Ariana had heard the whispers in the hallways of their Georgia mansion. Foreclosure, lawsuits, bounced checks. She tried not to listen, tried to believe it was just a rough patch, but now she knew better. Kroy, her adoptive father and one-time hero, had called her last night, his voice cracking as he asked if she could spot him a few $100s to pay the mortgage. Kim, once draped in diamonds and filters, had texted Ariana that morning asking if she could cover a hair appointment. It's for a brand deal, Kim had written. They're shooting tomorrow. Ariana had stared at the message for minutes, stunned. She wasn't angry, not exactly. But the emotions tangled inside her were complex. Sadness, frustration, confusion, grief. She had grown up fast, in front of cameras and chaos. But this was different. Friends didn't understand. They thought she was exaggerating when she said her parents needed her help. They assumed she had trust funds, savings, some secret inheritance. But the truth was harsher. The family's financial troubles had become public knowledge. Unpaid taxes, gambling allegations, luxury items auctioned off online. Even the Bravo paychecks that once flowed like champagne were gone. And Ariana? She was scraping together modeling gigs, influencer deals, and online coaching sessions to survive, and to help her family survive too. She had started therapy 6 months ago, mostly to process her own identity outside of being Kim Zolciak's daughter. The therapist had gently encouraged her to set boundaries. You can love someone without sacrificing yourself, she'd said. But how do you draw a line when the people crossing it are the ones who raised you, fed you, clothed you? Tonight, Ariana sat at the dining room table, the lights dim, a single candle burning beside her. Across from her, Kim looked tired. Not glamorously exhausted, truly worn out. No lashes, no extensions, no gloss, just a mother who seemed lost. I know this isn't fair to you, Kim said softly, folding and unfolding a napkin in her lap. But I'm trying, Ariana. I really am. I believe you, Ariana said, her voice barely above a whisper. But I'm tired too. Kroy joined them a moment later, tension in his shoulders. The air was heavy with unspoken guilt. They all knew this wasn't sustainable. Ariana shouldn't, be the family's financial lifeline. I applied for a coaching job, Kroy said abruptly. Back in Montana. It's not much, but it's something. Kim looked down silent. Ariana nodded. That's good. It's a start. No one had the answers, but for the first time in weeks, Ariana felt a flicker of hope. Not because things were better, they weren't, but because there was honesty. Finally. Later that night, as she lay in bed, her phone buzzed again. Another alert. She didn't look this time. She closed her eyes, willing herself to sleep. Tomorrow, she'd get up and do it all again. Work, budget, help where she could. But tonight, she let herself cry, quietly, because loving your family doesn't always mean saving them. Sometimes, it just means surviving beside them. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the blinds as Ariana sat at the kitchen counter, sipping cheap coffee. Her phone buzzed. An offer for a brand deal, not huge, but enough. She sighed, both relieved and numb. Kim walked in quietly, holding a stack of unopened mail. "I'll handle these today," Kim said, almost apologetically. Ariana just nodded. She wasn't sure what came next. Maybe healing, maybe more struggle. But in that moment, they were trying. Not perfect, not wealthy, not fixed. Just trying. And sometimes that had to be enough.